Hello, my name is Ben.
And my name is Josh.
And welcome back to FPL Graduates.
So it's another episode of FPL Fridays. Today we have the FPL Gaffer on. Say hello to everyone.
Hello guys, thank you for having me.
No worries, thank you for coming on. Yeah,
excited for another game week. Now, What we want to know, FPL Gaffer, is who you support and why you support them.
So I'm a Southampton fan. Kind of stems back to kind of late senior school, really. I was always a Glasgow Rangers fan growing up because of my family, and just living on the south coast, probably, as you can appreciate, a bit difficult to get to Ibrox every week. So I was just like looking for a club around here, and I've got my sort of hometown club, but nothing to really dig your teeth into when you're sitting in front of the TV and things like that. So, and a lot of my mates around the Weymouth region, Bournemouth fans, because they're our local Premier League team at the time, and I just wanted something a little bit different. So I just went a little bit further afield and went for Southampton.
Decent.
Yeah, interesting. What was it? Our second Southampton fan.
Yeah, we've had a couple.
FPL Graduates. So they're pretty. Quite a lot of them.
Yeah, quite popular. Yeah. So obviously, being a Southampton fan, they're doing pretty well in FPL, especially at the minute. Their assets. Who would you bring in? Say, name 3 players that are almost must-haves from the Southampton team.
So at the moment, I've got Yannick Vestergaard in my team, and I think I'll definitely be hanging on to him for now. Danny Ings looks like he could be back. I don't want to speak too soon and for something else to go wrong. So Danny Ings would be my second pick. And do you know what? I'm actually going to double up in defence and go for Bednarek. I feel like a lot of goals that we're scoring are from James Ward-Prowse corners, free kicks from out wide, and our centre-backs are getting on the end of them. So I double up in defence and go for Danny Ings if you're going for 3 of us.
Very, very interesting. I have Bednarek. I'm thinking about Ings. Obviously,
I have Kyle Walker-Peters, and we both have McCarthy as well as our keeper. So big Southampton.
Yeah, they're so good for the value for money that you get out of them. They're like a top 8 team at the minute.
That's it. I think you look at the Premier League table. You normally think the first sort of 6 teams are your premium assets. Maybe you've got 1 or 2 from each club. And Southampton, we're up there. And the players are quite affordable, right? So it's quite nice to, get a couple of those boys in.
Especially like Vestergaard you mentioned. Obviously, he started the season at 4.5. If you hopped on him pretty early, obviously Bednarek is still 4.5. Hasn't got as many attacking returns, but still a really good option. So yeah, really interesting assets to choose there.
So it was a very interesting week in Game Week 11. I think we've had some highs, some lows. FPL Gaffer, how was your week? Was it a good one, or was it one kind of like Josh's?
Yeah, I mean, looking at my arrows for all of my mini leagues in the overall rank, they are all red bar 1. So I don't know what's going on in that one green arrow league, but yeah, I got 66 points, which, if you're averaging 66 across the week, it's not too bad. But when you're seeing scores close to a ton, it's not ideal, really.
Yeah, a lot of people I know especially could have had over even 110, 120 points this week if they played players off their bench. Crazy scores. It's almost like every player returned this week. They just weren't in my team, so that was a bit unlucky.
In terms of going forward as well into the next game week, are you thinking about making any transfers? What sort of moves are you looking to make in the upcoming game weeks?
I've actually pulled the trigger on a -4 already. So I took a -4 ahead of Game Week 11. I brought in Sam Johnston in goal for Martinez, and that worked out swimmingly with Johnston coming into my team, getting 0 points, which was lovely. And I brought Mahrez in, and captain Mahrez. He only grabbed the 4 points, so the -4 didn't really work out at all. So I've taken another -4 moving into Game Week 12, just because I just don't like the look of my team. I've actually brought in Kurt Zuma, and I've brought back FPL Gold Mohamed Salah.
Cool, he's got Salah back in. Zuma as well, 4 goals this season already. That's more than Martial, Aubameyang, Firmino, so many top talents.
Put together as well, to be fair.
Yeah, 2 of them, definitely. So, really good picks there, good transfers in. Interesting that you were taking -4s, because for me personally, I took one last week. I brought in Jesus and Bednarek, and obviously they got 6 points combined, and then Calvert-Lewin, who I took out, he obviously returned. So what's your opinion on taking hits? Do you just willy-nilly, if I need it sort of thing, I'll do it, or are you a bit more conservative?
You know, if my team needs it, I'm definitely not shy in taking hits. I quite enjoy that part of the game. I like making transfers, bringing players into my team. I mean, I've taken hits. I took hits when just before Bruno Fernandes scored twice and grabbed an assist. Like the hit paid off from him alone. I took a -8 ahead of game week 10, and I mean Kyle Walker scored 9 points. Jamie Vardy got 5. Jota got me 9. So, you know, that -8 repaid itself. And I just look and I think that if my team's not in great shape, if I'm taking this -4, is it going to repay itself? Maybe not in that initial week, but is it going to improve my team over the next few weeks? And yeah, I'll take the hit.
Yeah, fair play. Obviously, it's almost like a bit of a gamble in a way. Like you put it in to hopefully reward.
I think a lot of people this year have been taking a lot more hits because the circumstances of the season have been crazy, and we haven't really had a season like this before.
No.
So maybe it is the smarter choice to take the hits to get the returns quicker and sooner. Time for my favourite part of the week. You know what time it is. It is test your guest time. FPL Gaffer, how confident are you feeling this week?
My trivia knowledge is below par. I am just hoping I'm trying to hit that game week average. You know, I'm not trying to, sail away with it, but we'll do our best.
Yeah, so we've had a low score of, 2 from
Carefree Lewis G.
It is the weekly Carefree Lewis G slander, 2 points that was disgraceful from him. He's meant to be on Blues Fans TV and he's meant to know his stuff. So there it is, the weekly slander of him.
Last week though, FPL Don nearly broke the record. He got joint top 7 points. If you do anything like he did, it's going to be crazy.
Oh, it is going to be crazy. I can't wait for it. Josh, whack a minute timer on the clock. FPL Gaffer, are you ready?
Let's do this.
Okay, starting in 3, 2, 1. Danny Ings is a top scorer for Southampton in the Prem this season, but how many goals does he have?
8.
6. How many clean sheets do Southampton have this season in the Prem?
2.
4. Who has the most assists for Southampton this season in the Premier League?
Che Adams. That's going to be
Correct. Who is Southampton's all-time record goal scorer in the Premier League?
Matt Letizia.
Correct. Che Adams arrived last summer, but which Championship club did you sign him from?
Birmingham.
Correct. Who scored the most points in Game Week 11 for Southampton?
Vestergaard.
Correct. Who has got the most FPL points this season for Southampton?
James Ward-Prowse.
Correct. What prize is Danny Ings currently on FPL?
8.4.
8.3. Which team is the closest team to Southampton in terms of geographical location in the league?
Brighton.
Correct. Who has the most yellow cards for Southampton this season?
Peters.
Romain. How much is James Ward-Prowse on FPL at the time of recording?
8.3. That's 6.3.
Oh, it was 6.2. The scores have been counted in and it is a total of 6 points from FPL Gaffer. A really great return from him. How are you feeling about that?
You know what? I'm actually really pleased with that. Yeah, very pleased. I wasn't expecting 6.
Yeah. We'll take that on the budget. Another good showing from a Southampton fan in these quizzes.
Yeah, definitely. 2 good scores back to back each week. We need someone to beat 7. If you think you can beat 7, come on, you know? So, moving on to the next segment, we're talking the captaincy picks of the week. We're going to discuss the best captains that you can probably choose this week. Last week we had a plethora. This week, not so many, and there's just a few standouts. So, FPL Gaffer, who's your go-to choice and who you put it on our leaderboard this week? 32 points is the score to beat. Yeah. Can you beat it?
Yeah, I think I've brought Mohamed Salah back into my team, and he is the only option for me in terms of captaincy. He's playing Fulham, who have conceded 21 goals this season in just 11 games. So I really fancy Mohamed Salah. He's also away from home, which means Fulham might come out of their box a little bit more and try and press, which, you know, plays into Liverpool's hands.
Yeah, definitely. If I had Salah, I'd captain him this week, that's for sure.
So what we'll do is we'll place him on the leaderboard down there and hopefully we'll see him rise up. And I'm hoping for it as well because I'll go straight into my captain pick. I'm going for Salah as well this week. Yeah. I think it's a great option to have. Hopefully he doesn't play too many minutes tonight in the Champions League at the time of recording. So we'll see what happens there. I'm pretty set this week on Salah, which is a rarity. I'm always one who's like, I think I'm going to captain this guy, but I'm not too sure. But I'm pretty sure on Salah this week, so that's going to be my go-to as well.
Yeah, for me it's a little bit different. Not only Salah is a big no-no this week, obviously probably the best captaincy option. Obviously you have the likes of Spurs assets, but I don't own them either. So for me, it's going to probably be Sadio Mane. He's not starting tonight in the Champions League, which is a big plus. I think it's about time he scores a goal, so hopefully he can do it this week for me. Fulham away, he tends to score away, Salah tends to score at home. I'm just praying it's, Mane's time. He needs to do something for me. So Mane, or it could be Vardy, he's at home to Brighton. It'll probably be the last game that he plays for me before shipping him out. So who knows? Check our Twitter to keep updated on our captaincy picks.
Differential of the week time now. This is where we all pick a player under, 10% owned, and a player who we think is going to have a good week. We'll go straight over to our guest, FPL Gaffer. What do you think of a differential to choose this week?
I'm going to be taking a Southampton player that's been out with a little bit of injury recently, but came back to score a penalty against Brighton. It's Danny Ings. You can grab him for 8.3 million, and he's owned by only 6.2% of the game.
Yeah, great pick.
Great pick.
I'm looking at him for sure. I've got Gabriel Jesus. Probably not the best pick in my what I've done, but I thought he might have got a bit of differential. I need to boost up those ranks a bit low at the minute, so he might come into my team. To be fair, I think he's a great option. You could even captain him this week with the fixture they've got against Sheffield United. So good pick. Moving on to me, I'm just going to take it over. So I've got another Saints player as well. I'm going Jan Bednarek. 3.3%. He's at 4.5 still. The cheapest Southampton defensive option. Good in the air. Defensively, probably going to keep a clean sheet this week. Sheffield United struggle to score goals. So for me, Bednarek, probably one of the best choices if you don't already own Vestergaard or Walker Peters. So you now?
I'm going to go for a Chelsea player now. They've got a relatively nice fixture this weekend against a really leaky Everton side. I'm going for Olivier Giroud of Chelsea. He's 1.2% owned. He's a cheap option around the bracket that Ollie Watkins is, around that sort of price range of 6.7 million. He's 6.7 at the moment. He scored 4 in the Champions League last week. He only came on for 10 minutes in the Champions League this week. He's going to play up front, I think, because of the injuries that they have in that team.
Yeah.
Timo Werner's going to play off the left, so I think he's going to get a lot of service this week against Everton, and he could be a really good option to really boost your rank up the mini leagues.
Yeah, obviously Reece James, he's been putting a lot of balls into that box, but no one's been able to finish him. Giroud's that kind of striker where even if you own like a Reece James or a Chilwell, you probably want Giroud to play up front because he's a clinical finisher. So, and 3 good picks there, 3 picks I could see even getting maybe like double-digit hauls this week. So moving on to the next segment of our video, it's going to be the fixture rundown. We're going to pick 3 fixtures this week that we think you need to keep your eye on massively, as they're probably the most owned players and the most interesting players to watch. So starting off, the biggest game of the weekend, it has to be said, it's on the Saturday afternoon/evening. It is Man City versus Man United at Old Trafford, the Manchester derby. Huge game. Will we see many FPL returns?
I don't think we'll see too many returns from these players, but because they're so highly owned, I don't think people are going to be transferring them out. A lot of people are still bringing in De Bruyne. He's gone up in price this week. Bruno Fernandes gone up in price this week as well. So there's a lot of assets in there. Personally, I'm just hoping for maybe 1 or 2 returns at most from this game. I can see potentially a Bruno goal maybe, but we do know that City love playing at Old Trafford.
Yeah, they do indeed. Obviously Bruno, if he's going to score, if Man United want to score, it's usually going to come through him in some way or fashion. So obviously he's a massive pick to have in that regard. Moving on though, what's our next fixture going to be?
Yeah, we're going to look at the Everton and Chelsea game because we've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin in there, we've got Werner, we've got Chilwell, we've got James, a lot of highly owned players. And we could see a return from my differential of the week as well.
Yeah, indeed. Giroud probably starting up front for Chelsea. If he doesn't, I don't know what Lampard's doing, to be honest. But obviously Calvert-Lewin, maybe the last week potentially that a lot of people would have him in for. He's definitely going to go down in ownership from what his high ownership. He's like nearly 95% owned in the top 10k. It's crazy. But yeah, Chelsea assets, Reece James, Chilwell. There's so many to choose from, so many playing. I think we'll see a lot of returns in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good fixture to watch. I'm definitely going to be tuning in at 8 o'clock on Saturday for that one.
Yeah, and then moving on, the last fixture we're going to talk about is going to be Liverpool versus Fulham, the big captaincy game. I know a lot of people are going to be captaining Salah, probably the most captain player this week. I have Mane personally, and obviously a lot of people have Jota. Trent's coming back, loads of players involved. Do we think they're going to run riot, or do we think it's going to be a bit more difficult?
I think it's going to be a bit more difficult than people are making out. I still think Liverpool will come away with maybe a 2 or 3-0 win, but Fulham will make it a lot more difficult than a lot of FPL players are anticipating. They've looked a lot more defensively solid in recent weeks. We've seen this from the West Ham game onwards pretty much, where they have decided on their best back four, I think. And yeah, it will be interesting to see. I think it will be either Salah or Mane that returns. I don't see both of them returning, unfortunately. So I've got hope and pray it's Salah. You got to pray it's Mane.
Yeah, it's usually where it goes. We never really have the same players. We just don't do it. We don't agree with each other. But yeah, that's been the fixture rundown. Moving on to the manager of the week.
Okay, we'll go into the FPL Graduates League now and have a little rundown of all the things going on in that league at the moment. I'm going to start off with the manager of the week now. This person got 94 points. Toby Newsome of all the Smallings, great name, must be a Man United fan surely. He picked up 94 points this week. He had a crazy week indeed. He had McCarthy in goal, unlucky not to get more points than he did. Zuma and James double up at the back, producing a lot of points for him. He had a Salah captain, he had Zaha, Kane, Vardy and Calvert-Lewin. So he only had one of them Spurs assets, but he did have Zaha, which was huge for him, and picked him up a lot of points.
Yeah, and at the top of the league, it's always changing. This week, we've got a new leader. We haven't seen him before. Tommy McDermott with the team name Mike Dean's Beard. Great team name again. We've got some good teammates this week. He's tied first, but he is top. He got 90 points this week. His team was looking like Robertson, Reece James, Carl Walker-Peters, all returning defence. We have another captain Salah, Mahrez, Son, Calvert-Lewin, Kane, Bamford. Very, very nice team. And well done, lads. You're top of the league for now, but there's a lot of competition behind you.
Yeah, I can see it changing. There's virtually no points between the leaders, so it's going to hot up over the next few weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy. And also, if you want to join our league, I know we get a lot of questions about this, there's always the code at the end of the video, in our Twitter bio, and probably as well in the description.
That rounds up another week of FPL Fridays. We're on what, episode 14, I want to say?
Yeah, lots of episodes, lots of fun though. We hope you guys are enjoying it. A lot of good comments and stuff, it's good to see. But yeah, obviously, go and follow FPL Gaffer. As always, all the socials are in the description down below. So yeah, thanks for coming on, mate.
And guys, thank you very much for having me. It's been really good fun.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so as always, follow FPL Gaffer. We'll leave all his links in the description, as Josh said. Like, comment, share, follow the TikTok, the Twitter, all of that good stuff. I've been Ben.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Ali.
And we'll see you
later.